Okay, so we've got this long shot to get it all in focus. And now I'm doing that, and you can explain what this is.
This is must be the weirdest kit I've ever bought and made, I think. It's a kit, it's full scale, life size. It's got 4 parts. The lowest part count of any kit that ever built, I think.
Even I could have built it. Okay, it's going a bit too far.
And it's an 8.8 centimetre PANZERGRANATE 39 armour piercing capped ballistic capped L56, which is it's the anti-tank round that would have been fired from Tiger tanks, because the Tiger was armed with an 88mm gun, highly effective, very high muzzle velocity, and you know, I've got a sort of minor collection of odd old World War II militaria that sits there, including a Messerschmitt wheel that is real, that my dad picked up when he was a lad before he could join up during the war, which I've kept, of course, other bits and pieces. And I sort of thought to myself, well, you know, if ever I came across in military collections or some jumble sale an 88mm shell, I'd buy it. And I'm sure they're about. There's probably deactivated. I mean, these would be solid shots. They're not explosive, the real things. They just rely on high muzzle velocity to punch through the armour of any opposing enemy tank. But I think there are such things, real ones, to be found in military at ridiculous prices. So I just sort of never really thought about it. And then I began to realise that there was somebody making kits of these things. I think the Tank Museum at Bovington has got blow-up tank shells. I've seen pictures of them. They sort of all right, you know. But they were selling these as well, and I just never got around to sort of think, well. And finally, I thought, well, yeah, why not? So I had to buy this from Australia and get it posted.
Was this your Christmas present?
Yeah.
To yourself?
Yeah.
Nerd.
Just the way we do Christmas these days. So I've got as far as I put the base cap on there and filled the seam. There are seam lines, actually quite small ones, running down both sides, and the round itself. So I spent a lot of time trying to work out how to fill those, and in the end settled on putting super glue into that seam with a cocktail stick, where it was particularly obvious. It's a very fine line both sides, and sanded it, sort of sanded it carefully and steadily for a long time. And the same with this. I can still just about feel this. And I've done the same thing with the actual shell itself. So, going quite well. I would again say, I think I'm slightly bonkers back in the thing, but, you know.
Sorry.
So,
You're not bonkers. There's been lots of people that collect the stuff you collect.
oh, the real
It's
thing.
just that,
yeah.
well, but yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter, does it? It's
Well,
what brings
really,
you
no.
pleasure.
I mean,
and
everybody's a bit bonkers in their own way. I mean,
well, yeah.
Spent many years studying human psychology, I suppose.
Yeah.
In working in psychiatry and psychotherapy and.
So these aren't fairy liquid bottles that you've been collecting to make a space rocket.
No, you're referencing a fairy liquid advert
that you don't remember.
I do.
Apparently, I mentioned it on my vlog. Apparently, that still shows.
I think I've seen
It's
it.
they still show that.
Yeah,
Well, not that particular 1960s
yeah.
advert, but so it could be a rocket ship.
It doesn't look anything like a ferry.
To me, it looks like a rocket ship.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then the next stage is I'll clean it, wash it. I'll have to find something to stick inside to hold it with, and with that. And then I've got to undercoat it, let that set. I've got to mix a decent colour, but you can't. If I think I've got paint. I've got gold paint. Is it called old gold? I think Vallejo. And you can't use that straight because I'll have to mix that carefully. I think with possibly a yellow and maybe a light tan to get a sort of used brass look to it. There's the igniter cap, which is the fourth part that goes in there.
Oh.
I think that screws in the real thing. And the actual percussion cap, I think, is a sort of coppery colour, so I'll do that. This will be a semi-gloss black. I've got to do a sort of.
Oh, is it a different colour to that?
Oh yeah.
I didn't realise.
This is brass.
And that will be okay.
This is made
two-tone.
of usually very high quality steel. If they had it, you'd use a tungsten tip, because I'm not quite sure how this breaks down to the real thing. But there's a ballistic cap for going through the air, underneath which is an armour piercing cap, which I think is sharper. Quite often they'd be tungsten tipped. I don't know if the Germans will have enough tungsten to do.
So as that penetrates the wall of a tank, does something happen? Is there a tip inside that?
I possibly, I don't really know, but if that's the ballistic cap, the aerodynamic cap, I think that is soft enough that would shatter, and inside there is an armour piercing tip, which, because of the sheer velocity and the kinetic energy, just slams a hole through. That's so intense that the heat would be massive, so it gets hot too, and in many cases that it would go in one side of an Allied tank and out the other. So after I've got to put a white cap. I think I'll do a sort of silvery white, which I've got, which indicates it's armour piercing, and I've got to paint these driving bands. I think have got to be silvery metal, soft whitish silver. And then the kit supplies you with stencils for the markings on top of that.
Can you repeat what it is? What the APCBC stands for?
Armour piercing.
Yeah.
Capped.
Yep. Ballistic
capped.
Capped. Okay. Okay. And then you'll have to write it down for me so that when I upload the vlog, I can.
Oh right.
Yeah.
What do you just say? APCBC.
Can I?
As opposed to a hash round, say.
Okay. Do you want to stop there?
I think you want me to.
Yes. Okay. Thanks.
I think I've exposed my insanity quite
Yes.
too widely.
I'll
now.
take you for therapy later.
Yes. Stop filming me while I go and find my straitjacket.
Ready?
What for? Oh right.